Coming up on Mountain News this morning, one Eastern Kentucky community now has more access to some quality health care. And one of the Commonwealth's largest bourbon distilleries gets even larger with a brand new expansion.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Chas Gayhart. It is 6 o'clock on Wednesday, December 8th. Let's go back over to the Weather Center and check in with my friend Brandon.
Well, hello, my friend Chas.
It's good to be back with you.
Yes, ma'am. Glad to have you back with us. And I wish the weather was a little bit better for you today, but so far so good for us here in Hazard. Some other folks seeing a few snowflakes this morning. Let's take a look, see what's going on there on the satellite and radar. And again, I'm not showing you live pinpoint Doppler because it's showing up as all rain there. So let's take a look at the satellite and radar. You can see some blue floating around there this morning. We're going to continue to watch that for a little while, and then we'll continue to see some changes as we head deeper into the daytime hours. Satellite radar, please, if you don't care. And we'll head over to that, and we'll be again looking at a little bit of blue trying to show up there. Those heavier bands of blue, those darker bands of blue may actually be reaching the ground. Unfortunately, some of the areas that they're reaching the ground in, we don't have cameras. So hopefully that will start to move out pretty soon this morning. Most folks probably won't see anything, but some folks may see a light accumulation, which is generally less than half an inch, if that. Temperatures to the south closer to 40. Middlesboro 38, Jacksboro 39. So it'd be a cold rain if anything reached the ground down that way. Most of us in the low to mid 30s this morning. And of course, 13 degrees warmer this morning than it was yesterday in Jonesville. 12 degrees warmer in Monticello. Everybody else just a few degrees warmer as you head out the door this morning. 50 is the average high. 47 is the forecast high. And 67 was the record set back on this day in 1987 at the National Weather Service office in Jackson. Chas?
Thank you, Brandon. Well, the cleanup continues in Scott County after a tornado ripped through a mobile home park Monday morning, lifting or even flipping around 10 of the homes. People living in the homes barely made it out safely, and now they're back to help clean up in any way they can. Scott County Emergency Management Director Mike Hennigan says while they physically clean up on the ground, the Red Cross has started the long-term phase of recovery, which includes helping people get financial assistance.
But the first step to doing that is getting a disaster declaration both from the City of Stamping Ground and from Scott County overall. So that's what I've been doing most of the morning, is putting together the paperwork so that we can declare a state of emergency and a disaster here in the city.
Officials are currently working with the Red Cross to find families more permanent living situations. A family is very thankful after a tornado passed over their home in Franklin County. Yesterday, the National Weather Service confirmed that tornado as an EF1 with winds of 90 miles per hour. Adam Burniston talked with the family about the night the storms blew through.
Captured all on the homeowner's front door camera. They went from calm to harsh winds, blowing everything off their porch and followed by insulation then flying through the air.
I woke up to just all this debris, I guess, hitting the windows. I didn't know what it was, if it was hail or what. It's large and very noisy.
Then in a matter of a few seconds, it all calmed back down. According to the National Weather Service survey, it was all caused by an EF1 tornado with winds of 90 miles per hour. However, the storm itself never had any watches or warnings issued as it moved through.
We're doing an internal review. It's starting today and the next 30 days and look at this event, what went right, what went wrong. I'm not happy about the whole situation.
Now the family tell me their bedroom is actually under this segment of the house where the roof went missing. And at the time of the storm, they didn't know exactly what was going on. But now learning that it was an EF1 tornado, they tell me they're fortunate to be okay.
We're just very thankful that, that we did wake up and that nothing, more significant was hurt. But it was a little scary for a few minutes.
And while they expect the roof to be repaired this week, Tigas says it will be several more weeks to repair all the water damage inside their home.
Everything's just going to have to be torn out. So like the walls and the floors and the ceilings, light fixtures, all that. But yeah, it'll probably be a few weeks worth at least of debris and tearing it up and then putting it all back together.
In Madison County, meteorologist Adam Burniston, WKYT.
The National Weather Service says this tornado likely was within the same storm that then passed over Scott County and produced the other tornado and straight line wind damage. Well, Senate leadership has cut a deal to increase the national borrowing limit. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Minority Leader Mitch McConnell have agreed to a one-time process that would allow Democrats to raise the debt ceiling on their votes alone. The legislation still has to pass in the House and get 60 votes in the Senate. It would create a temporary process to allow Senate Democrats to increase the debt limit with 51 votes. Congress would have to specify the exact dollar amount, likely more than $30 trillion. The fast-track process could only be used until January 15th. The Commonwealth passed a grim milestone yesterday, with the state surpassing 800,000 total cases of COVID-19. The state reported 2,728 new cases, bringing our case total to 802,417. We had 59 new deaths as well, putting the Commonwealth's death toll at 11,348. The positivity rate increased a bit to 9.17%. You can always find the latest COVID-19 information on our website at WYMT.com. One Pike County community is gaining more access to medical treatments. A new clinic opened yesterday with a ribbon cutting to celebrate a new chapter for Mountain Comprehensive Care Center. WYMT's Betty Forbes was there.
A new healthcare facility.
It's such a needed service here in Eastern Kentucky.
Growing, even through the pandemic that contributed to many of the concerns it treats.
Mental health issues has increased significantly. Substance use disorders has increased significantly. Overdoses have skyrocketed.
Mountain Comprehensive Care Center and the Home Place Clinic are bringing their specialties to the Pike County line with a new clinic in the Dorton community.
It's really exciting that there's also the second component of mental health treatment and some medically assisted substance abuse treatment.
Offering primary care and mental health care, including addiction recovery support, marrying it all together under one roof.
It all ties together and one affects the other. Medical professionals can talk to the behavioral health professionals, say, hey, you've got some anxiety, got some blood pressure issues. Let's come together and let's treat it all at once.
Expanding the operation and the area's employment opportunities.
And that Mountain Comprehensive Care is now in 60 counties, so it's become a really big organization, but it kind of still feels like small town care, and it's also about 20 jobs.
To take care of the community.
So it really is a full wraparound care.
By bringing care to the mountains. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
The new outpatient facility is open at 29 Cabin Fork Road in Dorton, in the former Family Dollar building. Well, a former Kentucky lawmaker running for U.S. Senate wants to legalize cannabis. Democrat Charles Booker hopes to unseat Republican Senator Rand Paul, who's seeking a third term. Booker says if he makes it to Washington, he'll file a bill to legalize cannabis. It's named after Gatewood Galbraith, a late marijuana advocate who ran for Kentucky governor 5 times. Senator Paul has been open to cannabis policy reform in the past. One of Kentucky's largest bourbon distilleries is expanding. Four Roses unveiled a new visitor center in Lawrenceburg Tuesday. It highlights the history of the signature export in the Commonwealth and showcases the growing interest in the industry. Governor Andy Beshear called it further proof of economic growth within the Commonwealth despite the pandemic, while master distiller Brent Elliott says it's exciting to see the widespread interest that bourbon has generated in bringing tourists to the Bluegrass.
I think all fellow Kentuckians feel the same way. You know, we're very proud of our native spirit here, and to be able to showcase it and to show it off to people, you know, to show them what we've always known we've had here.
Among the center's features is an archive collection dedicated to the late Al Young, who spent more than 5 decades with Four Roses. Elliott called Young irreplaceable and said the dedication made this day that much more magical. As the days get colder, some wineries across the country are preparing for a unique harvest. Wineries like the Wollersheim Winery in Wisconsin, where dozens of people can be seen harvesting their grapes in the freezing cold for their ice wine. After the grapes are picked, they are then pressed frozen to create an ultra-concentrated, flavorful dessert wine. It works because while the liquid in the grapes freezes, the sugars do not, leading to a stronger sweetness. But folks at Wollersheim say the temperature has to be just right to pull it off.
We knew that it was going to be in the teens and even 7 overnight. So this morning at 4 a.m. I was here making sure everything was good. and it was nice and frozen. So this is what we need. For ice wine, we need frozen berries, we need frozen grapes.
The grapes that were picked in this harvest will be turned into ice wine that will be ready to sell by the spring.
6:10 here on this Wednesday morning. We've been tracking some snow on Doppler, but it's not actually reaching the ground in a lot of areas. You see that there. It's some of those heavier blue pockets there, those darker blue pockets there. Could be some snow trying to make it through, but you see already trying to move out this morning as you see those gaps starting to form in the middle of it. Temperatures cold enough, at least in most of the area. To the south, be more of a cold rain right there along the Kentucky-Tennessee borders there, with Jonesville at 37, Middlesboro at 38, and Jacksboro at 39. 47 later today after those chances for snow give way to some sunshine later this afternoon. And we take a look at our weather headlines, and we're keeping an eye on two fronts this weekend, a warm front on Friday and a cold front on Saturday that could bring some stronger storms into our region. Jess?
Thank you, Brandon, and thank you for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. When we return, the Biden administration looks for options for a potential evacuation of Ukraine in case of a Russian invasion.